Hello and welcome to another episode of THINK.SET.GO, your go-to podcast for any issues and any matters that are meant to purely develop you, help you get set, help you get planning, get thinking, and go your way to trying to develop and change your life. We obviously focus on mindset change. We also focus on business development, and above anything else, we focus on solutions to issues that might be hindering you or at least taking you on the right platform. As usual, I'm your host, Kailo Sabone, and today on this episode, we're talking agriculture, and I'm joined by Omphemetse Mogorosi, who is an agricultural consultant and also runs Farmers Clan, or rather a founder of Farmers Clan. And this conversation today is going to focus holistically on how you can find yourself within the agricultural space. Right, so Dumela, and welcome to THINK.SET.GO.
Dumela Mr. Kailo Sabone, ke be ke go dumedise le mmogedi ko gae.
So I think we've met Farmers Clan. I've interacted with Farmers Clan, and I learned a lot. But I think I want to know what a Farmers Clan sentently, what is it and edirai?
Sentle Farmers Clan is an entity it's a consultant providing company or entity that actually helps the farmers who are mostly communal farmers to upgrade their farming into a commercial aspect.
Commercial aspect. So, but are not commercial farming in Botswana?
Commercial farming ya rona ga ise go roge ko eleng gore motho ka letsa molodi ga a bua ka yone, because you can see just by the results gore gompieno re kgona go palelwa ke go fa BMC gongwe selo sa nama e tshwanetseng gore ba enelwe, re kgona go palelwa ke go nna le dihalana tse go tlatsa dihalana tsa bo marketing board jalo ka mebidi. So that shows gore our commercial aspect mo agriculture ga ise e go rega kong, because even le ditiro ka re bua ka commercialization re bua ka ditiro ga rena batho ba e leng gore ke di-expert ba bereka mo teng ga di-farmo tsa rona, unlike go South Africa where you'll see an accountant e bereka ko farmong, wherever you'll see an animal scientist e bereka ko farmong. Kwano ga go a nna jalo.
Okay, but ke mo go dirang gore go nne yalo? Is it because ga rena keletso ya go tsena mo commercial farming? And gape commercial farming ene re bua ka efe? Go tlo re bua ka go ha BMC nama, that's meat, and then re bua ka bamboo, which is food. Mme ga the bamboo e na le gore e be dijo di be gantele be booster di farmera dijo go tlo go diragala yang?
Ga ise ke ele tlhoko seemo sa go nna jalo, ebile tota ke re ga ise ke se bone ke lebile gore almost even at this time ha re bua yana ha gona mmidi ha o tsena nteng gore o batla mmidi ko bo bamboo, o batla mmidi ko whatever agri shop that you can think of, ha gona grain go pehela.
Okay.
So that shows gore the commercial aspect ya rona kana farming ya rona ga ena output e siame, mme ga ena output ka ntlha gone gore re sentse re palelwa ke go nna go commercialize. That is why output ya rona nna low.
Okay, now when we get here, is it an education thing? Do we only see agriculture at some point? But I think our education system is so nice that from primary school, you're already starting to do agriculture. You get into junior secondary school, you even do the cocoa, mibuta, the kapi, and also the ploto, you do vegetables. Where do we lose focus?
So sa ntlha se se tona se motho a tshwanetseng go bua ka sone ha bua ka agriculture mo Botswana. I think a perception ya rona ka agriculture ke kganya ya gore hela agriculture no ke go lema le go rua mo le monneng borra rona ba go dira from go tsweng go lowe. Yaanong ga re kgona go tlhaloganya gore gompieno we talk of something se leng gore se tlhokana le research, se tlhokana le gone gore se hiwe letseno la madi le rileng, which is an investment. So na re santse re lebala ka go rua mo le ga rona la ga culture mo nkareng ke tradition e be go nna le gone gore no botsa gore where do we get it wrong along the line, because ngwana o simolola go ithuta ka agriculture le ko primary up until go senior. I think
It's an option. Most it's an option, yeah.
Option, because I remember ke dirile agriculture e le option instead of commerce. So you see gore gongwe yaanong ha setse motho a setse a le closer to reaching the tertiary.
It's like it's optional. It's like the joy is not really that important.
So me re ba gore in one of the mandatory the core subjects ne ka nna so se leng gore le batho ba le bantsi ne ba tlo ne ra gona le pool of people ba ne e ka re le after form 5 ba be ba ithutile dio tse pedi tse tharo. The other thing, the practical essence of our agriculture classes or subject in school is no longer the same as back then. Primary, for example, I started to know much about before be read the processing really ko primary na re khona go dira bo jeme ra go dira bo di chakala ka jalo re dira dio tse dintsi re le mane merogo ko primary. But of late you'd see that go khanyela ma teacher le puso go ngwahale ya gore ba bereka bo half 7 half 4 jalo ina lo ne at least gore go nne le ya bula gap e leng gore gompieno go tlela le gore ga gona dipudi di tseneng dintsi di ruile mo bo junior school. They are no longer there because all our teachers of agriculture, they don't offer extracurricular activities which was a practical work. Ke gopola re ne re khona gore nna ke itse gore no big ke ya me ya go feeda dikoko tsa mae ko sekolong big ke tlang ke ga se mama. That was a learning practical demonstration.
Okay, but also let's say go school. Now, personally, I passed my agriculture. It was my option.
Yeah.
But when I finished, I felt that thing in my head that agriculture, I don't have land. And remember, I'm a young person. I'm 17 years old. I was doing Form 5, and I'm like, okay, I gonna that drive because I'm gonna heart. So when I finish here and I go for 4 years, go university. I come out of BCA then, and then when I come out of BCA, that education, I'm not going to play that. One, I did not want to be a teacher, for sure, 100%. And the only thing that I thought could happen to me was I'm going to become a teacher of agriculture. And I was not prepared to do that because I was a bit of a difficult child. I don't want to deal with difficult children. So I made a conscious choice of, I'm taking a different route from this. Yes, I passed agriculture. Yes, I was good at agriculture, but I'm not going to go for it because I don't know what I'm going to do. So when you finished, you went to Buan, you did agriculture. What were you hoping to achieve? How was it? Because we are taught to be employed.
Like you are saying, somebody he did 45 points. Go scenario. At
45 points, I would have done
anything of my choice for UB and all that. But I remember, career choice alone. Form 5 or 9. But the reason why I ended up going to Seville, by then the beef industry. Hence I took animal science.
Okay.
The beef industry. Oh, okay. Okay, let me say like it's happening to most of the graduate. Chance an agripreneur.
You do agribusiness.
Agribusiness, yeah. So, can I give you like a canyon neo ya gore? Ha ke ka theoga ka hale ka ningiti ka re rutu go ra go bereka tota in most cases.
Yeah.
We are going there.
We are trained for the workforce.
We check out tota gone ka go tsana ka BMC veterinary. Because if you look at what is happening currently, it's something that we discussed earlier on ka khanya commercialization. The reason why the system doesn't really absorb the graduate agricultural institutions from long way back, not because of the current time. Is either a teacher, is either a extension officer, but other than that, you wouldn't see.
I didn't even know what the extension officer.
You see. No, I have my own plant. It wasn't there because most of the time.
Yeah.
Because if we had running agri businesses it would open a lot of opportunities for the graduates, even Baba Sanzan the undergraduate. Ne ba go focus mo gore oh naira kira project me ke hetsa school. I should be studying something that is going to solve the common problems which is now we are talking of a business. For example, oh, dijo tsa leruo di a tura, like my study. Okay, dijo tsa leruo di a tura. Can't I take morogo wa dinawa instead of hoja ka sa nutritious? Can I take this morogo wa dinawa ke bona gore how ka o ha ile protein source for leruo? I know that's useful. You see that now you are providing solution to the problems yet you are creating employment. Also, ubula phatla ya gore batho ha ba le makako ba itse gore no mme ha ka re dinawa ga dina go tswa tla ke khathekene le bana ba ba irang dijo tsa leruo ka le. So you see how the diversity and value chain how we
but we don't have that culture.
Yeah, we don't.
It's not in our culture to say gore we just know gore wa masimo o tsa di tonki kana di pelesa wa di boha o goga mogoma wa lema jeso ke morena pula ya gonela. And if it doesn't happen, for sure you lose very little.
That is the culture ke buang ka ke ke ene e rileng gore re be re iphitlhela re le mo semong sa gore batho ba bona temothuo e le go eleng gore ga tota go monke so se leng gore nna re itsela gore ke itloso bodutu kana ke go ere mo retire o boa teng o itse gore
kana ka weekend if that's where you go
le motho go mpena la mo ke tso gona ra majidana go mpena weekend e ke ikela hale a ba tsa mwa tsela lena ra re ke go ke tsa dikgomotse tsa leng gore gona gore bana le 3 months a sa itse gore a di teng.
Okay, so now we don't have that culture, right?
Yeah,
but we obviously need to find a way to get that culture going. My biggest problem with Botswana is that you let's take the beef industry because that's close to my heart. I'm from a beefing family or a beefing area, right?
Yeah.
We live beef, right? Coincidentally, I was born and raised in Lubatsi. You know, at the same time also, my family from my father's side were big beef farmers, big cattle headers, right?
Yeah.
But I love beef and I think it should be respected because it had a value. BMC had a value. We see beef farmers, because when you call them farmers, you are also elevating that necessary, right?
Yeah.
All right? They're causing accidents, right? That's a sign that we don't value our cattle. You know, you find let's on an average.
On an average, a common is less than a year. How is a field lot they could give you 4,000?
Oh, that much?
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's 900 to give you.
The 0 to tell us less than.
The ones that are going for 90 days. Yeah, the ones you feed for 90 days.
Now the field are going to keep them for another 3 months.
Yeah.
And
90 days and then
yeah.
4,000.
Give you how they buy the 3.5 you get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at the ones that are now on value, right? Yeah. How much is a cow? How much am I going to buy a cow for?
It's a breed the common ones that we will see
6.5, right?
Yeah.
But when you drive on the highway, A1 or A2 or A3 or even the Trans-Kalahari, there's cattle everywhere.
Around my 6.5
at least. Botswana, do they know gore khomu ke 6.5 ibile ha ile go tseleng it's at the risk ya go swa e be ke la 6.5?
Botswana, they know the value of their animals. It's just that khanya ya yone go sanna le gore go tlwa a kere go tlwaela la gore rona tota tiso ya rona ke le ya senaga hela eo. So they don't really look at the repercussions tsa gore ha ba ntse ba disetsa monageng kana tlhabologo e nna teng gompieno. Back then there were not so many cars like we having right now.
Yeah.
Ne o ka nna wa disela so sena se tshabiwa ne le di predators.
Yeah.
Eh.
No, it's not go tswang kgomo.
No, it's not poka utswang kgomo. Gompieno di predators ke nna lo yena le gompieno. Ya no bona value ya kgomo gore nna lo yena ba ile gore ga ra banga kgomo. Re khona go etsa re be re bona re ba ba tshameka o nna go ga borone o tlogetse dikgomo tsa go di tletse mo a be ba di tsa ba dutswa ba di rekisetsa bora butchara. That shows gore ene motho monga kgomo ene o ha tswa o tabogale papa ha ka utlwa go te kgomo ga go ga e bonwe ke modisa because now sense se simolla go tla mo go ene gore hey bana kana monno o ra ke nyelelletswe ke bokana
but we tlogetse go tseleng.
o e tlogetse go tseleng initially so go e tlogela go tseleng I think ke khanya ha ke tsora nkare Batswana tota we are ignorant in most cases ra thanya se tse re iragalwa re na le semo.
Okay, but then what we re dire jang? How do we get Batswana gore ba nne le that value ya gore I have cattle, it must stay within the farm or stay within a space that I can control? Is it because re tsaba go feeder?
Go kana nna tiso tota Mr. Sabone ke itse gore tiso ke bolotsa a di tlhole di hula a di tle go goroga jaanong ga bona re thula dikgomo masigo go ra gore di a be di sa goroga a mme one masaki a one masaka mme wena la bogelo bona le saka let's say for an argument's sake kana dikgomo tse di mo mogoditshane go ra re ka tsa batho ba koineng ha o tsamagela mo morago ga bonko a phire gongwe ka ga mabaleng ka gale ana wa tlo bone masaka go pegela gone gale
no ha gone
go supa gore ha go gorosiwe to start with
so
ha go boludiwe ha go gorosiwe so motho o tsa go kgona go utlwa let's say ro batla kgomo ya lenyalo gore nna motho ke ne ke a kgamala ka December bravo mo ke le gore ke batla kgomo nna re batla go e tlhaba for butchery purposes abar na ke ra le kgomo na dipedi mme ke batla go di rekisa ya ka ibile ke tsilana kana na ka bereka ka khombi go ga borone go ra gore meano dikgomo tse kana rra le go tlhaloganya gore kgomo tsantso re be re le tag ebe tseng ntse di a permit dio tse o na sna kelello a tsone ara ana ne ke batla motho o tsoteng tlhobolo ela gore ka hulelang kgomo o hela re ke ele ebe re hulela go
no but they listen to the radio
yeah
ba utlwa go bua ka dikgomo gore go dirwa yang ka kgomo. This education is there.
Ke khanya ignorance.
So they just choose not to care.
Because kana me ke yone khanya ke reng le ene Ministry of Agriculture because there are some acts tse leng gore di binda monga kgomo gore a follow the regulations tsa Brand Act bone bo bait regulations se jalo gona go thaka dikgomo. I don't want to enforce because gompieno a kgomo ga go le 3 months and above it's not brand kana it's not tag. You are liable to go to prison for 5 months plus, or you pay 5,000.
Wait. If I don't brand my cow,
yeah,
if I don't tag my cow,
yeah,
I can go to prison.
Very true.
But I still, who has gone to prison? Who has ever?
Never.
So what does Khomukumo actually do?
Khomukumo kana ke ene le gore ano e protect ba
I get my police go enforce.
Baba lawlessness. Gore ka be re gompieno Khomukumo ka be re instead of gore e be libile ba ile gore ke di go teng ba senye magodu hela le bona pemba di kgomo ba ile gore gompieno go itlhala go te kgomo ba re ke aga gore e heke le tlalo la ene ke me ene ena le brand nyane sna brand ene na le thegela ka mo go jala motho a tsentse thege go sna brand mo go a tsentse brand go sena thegela so ha ntsana go bidwa go me kana lo nna lo bangwe ba ile gore le re o keletsa di cost so lo ena re tlo go charger ka molato wa gore o ne o sa theka kgomo a gago kana no sa branda kgomo a gago. That is when we are going to see farmers ba rona ba tlhoagala because government o lusa madi a mantsintsi a hira bone bo dikoloi tse tsa bo kgomo di gore ke dikoloi di trailer di dio tse tsotlhe.
So now not to encourage anything, right?
Yeah.
But I feel there's a law that reprimands, that can actually put me to jail because I did not take care of the cattle. I didn't follow the act. Right? Why do we then have Khomukumo running around chasing Mahud? Owners of this cattle are the ones who are the facilitators of the crime.
Yeah.
I think the owners of the cattle should be the ones who go to jail before Mahud because they clearly facilitated the crime. Government spent millions of pullers buying the GD6 malo. Yeah. Branding matroko just to brand the troko is expensive. The guys who are supposed to be protecting me and you and everybody else should be running around the Badisa. No, I think someone is just losing the ball because there is no way Mapodisi, our cops are being turned into Badisa all because people are neglecting their responsibility to take care of their cattle. Then that's not fair.
That is where the Ministry of Agriculture, through the Department of Veterinary Service and Animal Production, it should be helping the law enforcers to really remind people their responsibilities by taking action against those who are really not complying to the regulations that are there in black and white. Kana right or hato go
yeah, ignorance of the law is not a defense.
It's not defense,
Yeah. So now we've got this challenge, right? Let's look at what then happens. So Hawa Brenda Komu, you're not gonna go to jail. How I try by Ramba or
Kanya thing kana lone gompieno, for example, how sa Brenda Komu ebo o itlhala go tiki ke ya me ke yutsule tota gompieno wa go identify wa kana brand ke identification.
Yeah.
So wa go identify wa jang gore kgomo indeed ke ya me kana that's when it calls for both DNA test or kgomo etse tsukie.
Do they even have those records? They don't.
They really don't, because these are the challenge, the common challenges that we face mostly kana go za santse ke bereka ko veterinary. You'd see that a farmer would be crying foul against another person, feeling gore motho mo tsetse kgomo and all that. But those ones ba nne ba khona ne cause kana DNA ya no yone wa go ituelela ne le ba ile gore ba itse gore no that animal ke a breed bo rileng is worth it. But then imagine a breed ye leng gore is worth gore o ire DNA o paletswela ke go e branda. You see how ke go ra kere it's a matter of ignorance, re neglect that is why we can't really be saying we are farmers.
Okay, so now looking at that gap and looking at that ignorance and looking at that, I don't want to use the S word, but stupidity that we tend to practice.
Yeah.
What does your role as an agricultural consultant then do? When I would be rang as an agricultural consultant in that space, how do you help me to one, obey and follow the law; secondly, to take care of my animals; thirdly, to be able to keep a record of my animals?
That is when we just try to actually educate people who almost know. Time and again we try to tell them about these regulations, the acts. Most of that, I'm also a baits agent. I also try to engage them on one-on-one cases. Even in the morning, I was just telling a few that kana ala itse molato wa go tlhoka go branda di kgomo tsa lona. Ke gone be motho ha go na le molato mme ibile go mo kere
so now we get to that space where it's obviously a crime or it's obviously a contravention of the law, right? But they obviously, do they listen to the consultant? Botswana ene hela o reetsa consultant, and are they ready to pay for that services? Because obviously consultant is going to charge you by the hour, but you need to get things done.
Consultancy services go kete tota Botswana ga se motho o dumelang go duela so se leng gore o dumela gore madu a sone ga tla tshwere ka diatla. That is why they will even think gore le lawyer ra dia ba. It's just that a lawyer at the end of the day wa ba go lola motho mo go ka entronko, but wena ha o le an animal consultant yana motho o kona gore a fila gore wene kana wa bua hela na ke batla motho e leng gore o ka batla a tshwere kana ke a go tla ke exchange of money ke be ke tla ke tshwere sengwe se se materialistic. Ha o bua ka service ya consultancy la ka molomo, they will rather listen to you how morara re ke go kentela di kgomo than you pay me. If you try to sit down with them over tla go direla breeding plan, tla go direla management plan, head health plan and vaccination plan yo ne gore o dira jang, a very out of 10 you'll see that one wong hey
asa ba go
le aba go ka ro mo tsenya mo pateletsa sekoloto aba tla go duela ka ntwa. So we are still Tata go lebega esa rona mo Botswana hela. Black farmers. Because I was with one guy Mabana to South Africa. No, that is even the same space. We are just experiencing the same thing in South Africa.
But it's because we think we know. We think we know our animals, and happy we're not programmed to be commercial farmers. So it's not a business for me. So why should I be paying for the service?
That's the thing. Because kana how ka kwa duela so khona go se tlogela mo tseleng. Se thula ke koloi. You see.
But o khona go lla gore nya go mo ga ke tsolo ga mami.
Gompieno motho a teng go mo ha ya harelwa. O no o rile o mo ha the precautions before go nna le seemo. Ke gona a tlang a boela go yena gape. A gore re kana ke ha ke na le seemo se sentsenyana. Yet you told that you could have saved that omara ha ka kwa breeder khomo ye ya Setswana ka gongwe limousine. Eventually o tlo go nna le go harelwa. Yeah. So do it how di bua before go nna le seemo. Motho ha go retse because they believe it's just go rua mona. Mo se go rua re tswa khakala bo raro na ba ruile. Ne go sena di khantse lona la tla bela ka dikitso tsele re le tswa sekwelentse le bele re la ka re convince na go lape mona re ba limi ba rui. You see, but when
but he can't even account for it.
They can't really. So that is the challenge. At some point, we are more like a voluntary kind of entity, whereby we will just preach half information, but half what then you end up the whole information. I got why is it marketing? Customer eventually you'll see that
but again also I think we have this culture or how tlile go kumorakeng wa me re tlo go nthusa ke feel gore wa nthusa hela so worrying because gape ke feel gore ha ile gore ke tloka thuso ke tla go ra lophalo. Government has made services so free that there's no comfortable environment for consultants for private sector to play a hand. Should government then start licensing the practitioners to a point where go teng make ana ha ile gore wa re o tlasetse ke bolwetse tlhakole molomo ha rena go tsantsi re bona gore a me consultant go boleletse gore o dire jang.
I think the government should only be more focusing on diseases of economic importance the Department of Veterinary Services. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the diseases like anthrax, foot and mouth. They don't di kentelwa. Government itse gore ha di ka nna dintsi.
They are
the whole country and the economy will collapse. But certain diseases, government also le consultancy ya teng hela re famala no. There are some private practitioners. By long they'll provide you with the services. License. That is when we are going to see even the farmers by hela jaka bait yone ya malengana ya di attack. Obana re gompieno di farmer ba hitse gore ha tla go nna ke motsenyetsa di go mo system wa duela. The farmer wa itse lenyana le la rekiwa. Ha go ba le sepe gore the same farmer a duelele go tla go nna ha se le nna 30 minutes. Ke moruta ka the management plan ya farm season.
So okay, so now we obviously I think our biggest concern will always be beef, because I don't think our beef is selling to EU as it used to sell 20, 30, 40 years ago, because a lot of things have changed. The fences have gone up. There is farm management that is necessary to do that. That's a compliance mechanism that has been put in place. If I want to sell to BMC, what do I do? Do I have to just listen to what BMC is saying, or can I use a consultant? Is that something that you are able to help with?
As Farmers Land, we are able to guide a farmer who access a market to BMC. Mind you, the local market BMC EU, of which EU on compliance a bit. It's not really a difficult because that's an issue of the records tse leng gore
le fence
o itse gore no zone ya gago e tsamaya so that dikgomo tsa gago o bo itse gore di ntse go na le mo go teng residence di ntse le baka le le kae mo your holding ba bona so dio tseo ra di dira re le ka go di guide batho ka tsone re le di consultant. It's just that the farmers they choose to say hey BMC gape le wena gona mosola e tlo go duela morago ga o setse o itlhobogile gore madi a gago ga ana gore I think ho le gone I think gore maintenance a lwakganya gone gore turnaround time ya go duela di farmera ba e tokahatse. That is when we would be able to see di farmera gongwe ba khona go khatlegela go itse thata ka dio tsa BMC. Me le BMC of late it has been trying to engage time and again le expo and every now and then workshops and seminars tse leng gore di le ka go enhance information flow mo teng ga di farmer a mme kang ke gore tsone di farmer tse re buang ka tsone ha go te BMC tla bele hale a batla ha go te farmers plan ena le an expo kana a workshop a batla kanyengwe ke one ke gone di farmer di maoto a tshupa.
Okay, so BMC has two markets. They've got the EU market and they've got the local market, right? And I think the local market includes some SADC countries there and there.
Yeah.
Okay. So clearly there is a better practice here handling cattle as far as the EU market is concerned. Why don't we adopt this particular method to apply and then have one method? Botswana beef market I know there's a meat regulatory authority that's supposedly coming up or is already there.
Yeah.
Can't we adopt one system so that we can all follow one system and produce what we call the best beef in the world?
Kana mo khanyo kana ekile mo a mpotsa ha ke mo direla the permit ke mo rakara o isa ko local kana EU our EU kana wa local ba botsala le gore EU ke mo go rileng local ke mo go rileng so you get to see gore la le register nna matsedi sa
because I feel so under I feel disrespected
gore no ya no ke jana maye e leng gore ga te ke me e le rona bemba khomo eo a go siame go mo like you are saying it's a good recommendation that one can actually say because motho hantsa o tla go ntse terna le local le EU wa re lo tsela ba bang go godimo so because issue here the guys by EU kana bone ba go ha the standard as the buyers for nna re ka reka na malona if we are able to trace it from fork to farm if we can't trace it that way then there's no way we can buy
but even our local Bates is tracing. Bates can tell you the steak you ate yesterday where it came from.
Different because the whole system Bates permitted to local butcheries and local market or BMC is the same system EU permit. Where is the difference now? The difference now comes in ka khanya
feedlotting.
Agri management the records.
Okay.
Tata jone sebesa period o gore a kana go ya 90 days o ntse khomo ga go ile ha go rona ele mo go wena ha o itlhokometse jana le jana wa signa o fila o supa gore o itlama gone gore tata dio tseo o comply le tsone so ka kwano e kare ha ile wa local ka kwano wa go tla le gore no ena le 7 days le tsentse mo system no a tsamaye so I think if we can try to make that EU standard applicable to local market ra gonna le ona gore di farmer di comply mo di ntse dintse le gona go rwesa malengana hela go gonna go le teng because motho wa kana go mpieno farmer can come in ara ka le lengana aba go le rwesa it's after 7 days we isa matlhabelo o bona gore me ya EU, you can't sell it within 7 days. So if and only if the farmer need ka ke dua gore ga se khanya go ntsha le tshono ke khanya gore go comply we ne ra go nna le batho ba ba comply because go mo ga re ne go ne ba go lela ba re di go motsa rona no
they'll get used to it.
They will get used to that.
Di go motsa ga di a rekiwa so it's your own problem. Why don't you comply?
Gore hala sa ha re comments sa rola take within maybe say 40 days then it can never go anywhere.
Yeah.
Ne ra go nna le batho ba e leng gore at 3 months ba setse ba brandile o setse a rositse malengana wa itse gore ha tswa go kenta o a go tsenya mo systeming go go tenya go mo sorenso ya tag number mama
Ibile ha ikentele
ga ikentele hela wa bona o itiritile ka molemo ofe wa batch number mamang ye leng gore expire ya teng ke ife. So those kind of things ne dia go ira gore re na le true farmers. You see gore e boela ka e ra solution ya seneng re ntse re botsana ka sone gore a mme jaanong a go botlhokwa gore molao wa apply ya molao wa EU ha no ka apply le mo local slaughter. I think we would be having better farmers.
Okay, so now that's on the beef side, right?
Yeah.
What do you know so far about the beef regulatory authority? The meat regulatory authority.
The meat regulatory authority kana santse le e ka re ke ngwana o tsentswe mo santse ga le mo ntlu.
Yeah, tshabiwa.
O ga ise etswe e tshela nna to the public domain mo go kalokalo because e ka re tla ena le batho ha ba e questionang hale teng gore e ka re tla ha bangwe dithata above ba bangwe jalo. So go ne hong ga ise tota nka gore ka bokhutshwanela ga ise etswe nne mo go rona sentle re utlwe gore tota e tla re tsholetseng ebile e tlo go improve our beef industry kana meat
Ke
pitlela santse le pitlela. But if at all kana o bona dilo tse dintsinyana ke dilo tse e leng gore before gongwe di tsela tshwetso I think they should be somehow they should be go kopana le di-farmera, not only certain farmers le bone ba ba go tlase because kana remember dikgomo tsa rona bontsi jwa tsone they are under communal grazing system, not under the diplasi.
Okay.
Demo communal grazing system.
Yeah.
So what our majority of our farmers re ba bona mo go bone ba ba dikgomo tsa mo tseleng la o ka bona go fillo teng e simologile e tswa mo go nna kana wena. So these are the bigger stakeholders that we shouldn't really undermine when we make some decisions. We need to engage them. Re ba bolelle gore re ne re tla ka mogopolo wa gore re tle ka se sentseng jana re dumela gore sa go lo sologela molemo jana le jana ba ikutlwele ba be ba nelela bone kana o ka itlhela le gore ha ba ka gana selo bone yanong go ba le bantsi ra go re ntse re iphitlhela le gore re tle ka so se gongwe ne re itharre se sentle mme beng ba sone ga ba se dumele.
Okay, so that's on the beef, right?
Yeah.
Small stock, right?
Yeah.
I know go beefing we are trying to bring back the head and increase the head, but haritse are na di go mo reka because di na mo tseleng. Di tla di tabogile mo di na mo tseleng di ja mo dustbining di ja sengwe se di bonang so re tla di bala na go.
Ebile ga di a thekio kana ha ne di thekilwe la go mpenwana. Nka be ke gona go ra ke re nna mo kgaolong ya moshopa nka go hapalo ya dikgomo di ka nna kana mme go kgaolong ya mathethe o ka bona dikgomo di ka nna kana go kgaolong ya boketekete ka bona. So because I agree debates agenda they could be attached to the database ya each and every farmer. So ha go ka gore ha di tlhokomelwe ba bona.
So literally the national head could not be that bad. Ke gore hela ha rena palo ya tsone ka gore ha di a kwadisiwa. Okay, so are then re lebelle kanya small stock. How are we doing as a country more small stock?
Small stock ha in particular ke tla simola ke re kana le pudi le nku. Ha o lebella for example le ba rui ba rona ba ruileng dipudi. In most cases tota ba la ka market bone. Ala go kgomo e leng gore o kgona go itshonela ka yone. Pudi go itshonela ka yone Mr. Sabone o le communal farmer.
Ba la ka market or what's wrong with the market?
Gore ga bana market santla.
Nya ba rayang ha gona di butcher di trekisang nama
ba dumela gore tota le nna mme ha let me take for example ha ke tsana go ha ke le go moshopa mo butchereng I can't single out e butcher ye re ke sa e chevon na mapudi kana maten na mangu You see, it's only in gaps or towns whereby you'd see that the likes of bigger guys by long about Lisa buying halele hale. One we tell a mutton, chef on a lamp, meat and so. And then if you look at the small stock number, you can take you another decliner, especially ntle ko bo middle bits box ka ko bo middle bits ka kwa le botsa bo go ke gone ka rentsi me le gone ha o ya teng ka go rentsi wa go tlalela ro ka wena o tla o tswa ka kwano o tswa mo bo ga borone bo mo shopa kanye jalo ka na go ditsa ka price e ke teng o bola fa mara because they don't know where to sell them.
Yeah, but I guess the government has decided to put together another talk with Sabong should be able to help that. Which still, I'm not sure if they are really ready to sell, because if you look at Lubu is a good project. You know what I mean? It's a good area. It's a good project. But is it not expensive for keeper small stock home compared to home? What's cheaper? Good if I'm to say I'm going into animal husbandry now.
Yeah.
What's cheaper for me?
It could be cheaper to keep small stock. Looking at even the space that it requires, the amount of water that it requires, you'd expect it to give birth more faster than
every 6 months you're getting something.
You see that. And even you see that but you'll need a lot of labor, space, and mates. It's a small stock. But then identify how often do you buy a lamp or mutton or chevron? I
hardly buy it. Actually, I think I keep butter pudding. Because
that is why I get a local market that thing go twisa morui wa kgo. Yaron le ra butshara hala ha kana go rua so se leng gore na teng go reka nku kana pudi ko motho mo mongwe e leng gore every now and then Mr. Sabono ka nna tsana ha morakeng ala itlhabela a ba tla tsentse mo khulareng a tla gaborone o bona gore it's not worth it. You see that is where local market ga e yo tota mo nameng ya nku pudi jalo because ga go motho o hela gore o itlhabele.
Yeah, so what should we do? A retse pudi jaaka re tsa kgomo, re tse nku jaaka re tsa kgomo gore bona ha gona sepe se go tsengwang tipa ga re bo itha gore o heditse. O tshwanetse gore o tsamaye we o fola line o tle kwa ka le go la khotla gore nyame ke bola ya potsane ke apela bana setšhaba.
Le ha gore go tsa sebaka mme gape le ha o ka tla ka tsone this kind of restrictions, but because of hela by size ya yone hela pudi o ka nna tla we go ga hela o bo o tla o itsore ke pudi nyama re tshwareng o mala re setse re kwa disitse go ha go khosi hale are tlhabere tswa mo go yone. So it's easier to slaughter even if you can bring some bit of regulations and all that. Hape by the fact that that makes it easily accessible. You see, so unlike you know what yeah, you see, you bow somewhere but it's so difficult. That is what brings in the difference. So the only way we can just, I think for me, we can find market outside else, not...
No. The president of this country, MEK, he went. He spoke to the Saudis or the Middle East people.
Yeah.
They want Namayapudi, but we don't have enough. So, and I don't think it's a limit. A limit limit is given by ntse ene ra go dipudi le dinku
le youth ka o se ka lebala le youth ka gore
le youth,
ya go
yes.
tse buletswe ba tla go go nna ntirela business plan ya dipudi
and ba go di
ba le
tsaya
10
so what is preventing the market, right? Is it because of the standards? Because another thing could be that the didn't get out of the robot, the kids how robot and green, you know what I mean? Because they live in the city.
Yeah.
Didn't because they have a driver to cut it. Didn't, right? I think we need to put together laws that and standards that make it mandatory but it's a jaga kho on le beitsi ya dipudi
tota mme e teng ya ka yone base ya
e
dipudi
teng ya ka manyana a teng ya thu ya
malengana a dipudi ano gore you should buy this year tax ya dipudi o bo tsenya yaanong o bona malengana a dikgomo a fosa batho ka ntse ke go bolela just because o tshwanetse go a go rekisa a bona a dipudi ya ba tlhokomologa because in most cases
ke a go tlhaba
wa go itlhabela ko lapeng.
Yeah, so I think there's a need there. I cook meat for a living, right?
Yeah.
I cook it in about chop, it's done. I've fed about Khomu doesn't even feed 300 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Khomu inyanya. La ro re ke go rasa go lapeng. Freezer ranyane e ka ranyana. Khomu ya itsana mo teng. So I think it's just that thing ya gore tsa gore pudi ditone. Now where I come from, ko kara go bisi pudi ka. Ito. So I think molao must just be done.
Me ala to more to chip in mo kganyeng ya the market wa the Saudi Arabia yeneng mogolo a bua ka one. Ke tsa gore ha gongwe ha ka rata bogela kana re ho hela ya no a go barare ra utlwa le batla dipalo tse di kana mitle just for now in your market rehen
1%
wa bona because e tla be se mmoa hela o itse re go mongo a go dira mong ke gone mo go tla re nyano ha re tla ka di standard e be di tlama moru a pudi ano I they are going to be motivated ba itse gore dipudi tsa bone gona le go di ante wa bona it is going to be much easier gore re impose dio tse dingwe mo go bone because they will be motivated knowing that pudi ano ya tsama. But if we still have a local market as a alternative, number one alternative, I think we can try by all means to come up with several ways ya go leka gore re improve leaving the head. It won't go anywhere. Kana gompieno ana a ka re ka gore ke tsone those business plans tsa small stock. Ha ke tsa ke tsana go marketing go ke kharametsa go ke tla be ke re market wa me ke di butchery me ke ntse ke itse gore butchery a nkere ka ereka nama pudi market wa me ke bo Senfoods ereka tse kae ba bona ereka ka bokae e enda e ja ene farmera gore pudi e leng gore government ene go o rile o ereke mo farmereng o monga 1000 gore wa rekisa go Senfoods ka madi a leng gore is less than 1,000 bo 800 because ba
600
bo 600 yeah you see and we o tswa kae go morakeng ka koloi o di pegile mo teng o tla ko e seng ye nne mfa mara ora re tla go itlisetse wa tswa kraya so a local market there tota hela gona na it's a no how motivate motho gora a ka rekisa dipudi mo teng e bile ano gora ra ka rua only manyalo ka bo dinkutso le tseo tse tla bong go te ya mokwele ke gone mo eleng gore but then how often and how many do they get? Very minute number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another thing, right? So harana culture ya agency services. Hakara agency even just marketing agency.
Yeah.
It's not just the meat, it also goes into horticulture.
Anything that is
we're going to horticulture in a bit, but still on the meat side. What if we create an agency culture by way of law where we say for you go rekisa pudi ya gago batla agency we appointang gore go rekisitse nama eo so that there is a control of folk to farm kind of thing where I agree BMC right now had something called GPS Foods out of Cape Town.
Yeah.
GPS Food is kind of the agents, not just for Botswana, even West Africa, they used to take cattle from there to EU. If we had an agency that says, Rona, I can send foods, I can send falana, I can chop piece, whoever, we need you to show us, okay, record di pudiki. Because then if I'm a middleman, I'm going to negotiate the price. You look at how much Force is selling pudi for. Can I? 105 pula per kilo. How bad?
Yeah.
Right now, because it's okay. That way, they don't care. They go up to 114 pula per kilo. So, but if they had an agent, what they send foods, Force, Sefalana, Pick and Pay, whoever, you're not allowed to buy straight from the farmer, but let's have an agency negotiating price for the farmer. Won't that be able to help? Because you go to South Africa, the agent did a good auction in the Agoreka, and they rekadi some matlabelo. Matlabelo inspect the Agoreka and they pay you. And they sell by the kakas. Should we not do that? Because we are so good at it. Should we not do that?
Our farmers bana leho kana kanye ke nangi ki bua thata. Our farmers bana leho re ba batla go ikela direct ko.
Yeah, but we are in the middle of mindset change.
So that is a key thing that needs to change in our farming industry, because either horticulture, whatever, a farmer should be a producer and he should stay
in their lane.
Very true.
Because they can't create employment.
They can't create employment.
But agencies can create employment.
Very true. Because even to motivate them to produce more, they will have less job to do. Because someone who produce a hela, I come there, negotiate price here, a producer price. Nagata ta bona go pele gore kira. Ya no ha tsena go chopisa itlela kana go send food itlela pudi 110. No tla motho o tsere mo go nna ka 20 or 55.
No, it's actually about 42 pula
per kg. Then now it's double the amount. That is not the space to argue.
The farmers must focus on, and I think that is whatever is delaying us as a country, right? No one knows their job or does their job.
True.
You are a farmer.
You stay there.
There's no way we should find a baker butchering the meat.
Very true.
A butcher is a butcher.
Yeah.
A baker is a baker.
Yeah.
A nurse is a nurse. A doctor is a doctor.
That's true.
Farmers must stay as farmers.
Yeah.
And allow marketing agencies
to
do the job of selling. And that will even increase their value, because if I can lock Force or Sefalana into a good price and hit them properly up to 75 pula on a kilo, it means I'm going to pay the farmer better and faster. And we actually now help motivate him to believe
to produce more.
But I think to create business, we need to create a clear value chain plan or roadmap that we give every farm. Value chain ya farming ke bereka yana wena o morui.
Licensing ya telo ene teng e governe e regulate le gore no ya no ha ntsana yala ya ka right gore ha le Rammelara. On a license ya bo Melara.
Actually, bo Melara I want to do they don't do much, so they need to be empowered.
Yeah,
because they already exist. Those are marketing agencies. They already exist,
because
but they need to be used. Not just go do komu.
Agribusiness, because you handle kanya bo Melara. I think it's in that educative aspect of it to tell them. Little farmer the reason why this guy exists is because they play a very huge role. He's doing his job.
He's making phone calls. He's driving up and down. He's sending me trailers. Yeah. So we have millers, right?
Yeah.
And the good thing with Botswana is that the millers are by district. There's no national miller.
No.
How lo ko wa kweni wa kweni, license for kweni. How lo wa khantsu for khantsi.
Yeah.
Which then should be able to create employment, because then it means you go to however farmer ra gore a re nyame mmelara o ke berekang le ene
Ke se mama.
number ra go ke tsamao ko go ene go bua
Go
le
bua
ene
le
a
ene.
tla gore ke le kgomo
Yeah.
but I think bopelo tshetlha boa motho
Ba
kana
motho o
desperation ya motho
Motho o montsho, o e gatelela.
ke tla motho o montse a go itumedise tota go tlhelele
Re
so
bereke sentle.
so that desperation ya motho montsho ngwana mmala a sebile wa gore ke batla go bona ke a tshwere ke bona a tla ko go nna that's where the problem comes right
Ke bo Judas.
so go na le bo mmelara a bo mmelara ba tsena go dipuding gape gore ano mmelara a bereka le dipudi ke eng ba sa license go dipuding kana ba bereka le go dipuding gape
Tota ke tsa gore mmelara tiro ga go le ko dipuding o ka tsena. It's just that le ene mmelara ke re wa go lebelela ko e leng gore lehura e ka re le botoka teng. So ha pudi sa move chance ya gore a tlhole a tabogile thata le dipudi e nna ko tlase. Mme I think there's an opportunity ye leng gore they skip it ya ka o bua kana market mathata rana re lebile yone wa dibutšhara hela. I think this di hotel tse dintsi tse
yeah but like, you know hotel is not going to buy a carcass because they don't butcher they want to buy the chops
this is a connection.
Yeah.
It's a connection. What you do, you say, when I ra butchara, ra, agare hona le hotel what. Now provide you with this amount. Because lo na hotel na go ntsi. Bana di quantity tse tlheleng ba di bata. That is why sometimes re faila gore re
Yeah,
kgona
re
go
really
ba-
quotas about
yeah. I think if we push to such kind of agreement or no, nagere melara I will just look you for goats, tota ebile lambs tota. Lamb chop kana yeah, move. It's just that re robetse mo go yone.
and it's actually the most expensive thing you
It's-
find in the restaurant
yeah.
in the menu
Yeah.
because it's a rip-off they give you 3 pieces like this for about 170
You
bucks
see, of which it tells you that this thing could be even lo mo kana solo sa na available se le sentsi. Le at the end user which is the consumer. E gona go hela
e dira
price wa bona.
so now, but let's look at so there's a trend that I can't so
Yeah.
I'm just saying this because I'm within the meat business I'm in the meat value chain right
Yeah.
there's the Indians who are also farming. I'll zoom slightly towards the Muslim side because of the halal part. There's a butcher in Broadest Industrial, which I also buy there. It's halal. The amount, every Wednesday, the amount of carcasses, tapudi, liunku that arrive there will scare you. But it's between them, which is between the farmer and imam and them. Actually, they're probably buying from one guy who also is a Muslim, and is an imam. So it means he's doing the halal slaughtering, and there's endless supply of lamb and mutton and chevron from the Muslim community. They have it because they love the meat locally here, which is why they are the intended market outside. How do we get in between there now? Because they are managing. Because obviously, I mean, all Muslims we're going to want to eat halal.
Very
You know
true.
what I mean?
Very true.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
But beyond the halal, you go to Force is not halal. They have halal meat, but they're not halal. But they send trucks out to Karakubis and Charles Hill by Tekela,
I take care.
and they come back with it. We need to kill that and create a value chain so we can kill that thing. But Molaone, can it get there? Can I meet a
It's
free
a free
market?
market. The issue here now, ke kganya gore
Yeah, but free market is creating unemployment. It's taking away the employability of people.
and even le gone go bola di farmera tota because kana imagine o tsa mo go nna hela ka gore ka re ba le tswelele one go create even tribalism
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
le racism mo teng kgante le tlogela re
No, Gape creates a room for a rip-off, right?
yeah
If I'm coming to buy, like for example, if I'm going to buy pigs now for Pigs on Fire,
yeah
I go to one farmer and I set my price because I'm buying bulk. I'm here to buy 20 pigs from you,
no, Mr.
and then
Someone.
you tell me no, my price is 45 on a kilo. I'm like, it's okay, I'll go somewhere else.
I'll just get it from somewhere
Because I'm playing that card. Yeah, what I can send food like for 32 pula on a kilo, I must buy 45 pula on a kilo. But if there was a middleman, kids, well, I'm restricted from buying from the farmer. The middleman or the middleman, price is 45.
Remi.
It's not negotiable.
Eh,
This is your
re-
base.
So ke ke yona kgang e leng gore ke re bua ka yona gore the farmers should remain farmers ba ska ba tsenela mo kganyeng ya gore motho a tle go tsa leruo go bone e se the middleman kana melara.
Okay.
You see, so that is when Leon, these Indian guys, they will be forced now to meet middlemen.
Which then means that, because it's just that the unfortunate part comes here, right? We need to then get halal abattoirs.
For this guy. But I think the issue here...
The abattoir, multi-species, I think it does halal, or they've got it in Imam, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't understand. But I do know that I'm not easily just going to buy meat when it's not halal.
Halal is not like it needs a special kind of...
Yeah, but so we need to have abattoirs that are certified and licensed.
Yeah.
You look at BMC. BMC exports halal meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to just get everyone on their own lane to kind of certify that and get that going. Now, another one, small stock, just going back slightly to beef. Exportation of ready to slaughter. What's your take?
Exported the live animals.
South Africa, yeah.
South Africa. That exportation was kind of beneficial to a farmer in regards to kana the live exportation consignment. Market remaining. BMC. Go to this feedlot guys, they will just get grabbed from the farmer. At the end of the day, they channel it to one market, which is
BMC.
The BMC.
Which is not going to pay you time.
It trickle down. The feedlot guy, Baba like yo, I made go BMC, right? Kana farmer and agree. Was about we get go BMC directly because how I told my so
what are the millers and the feedlot guys?
But price gore bogolo e re ha ba duela motho wa ntsa tsama e re ba emetse madi a la bone mme o ene be ba mo bolaile ka because apparently before that price ne di gona go tsama go bo 18 pula bo 19 pula, but currently they are going around bo 14 16 of a live animal. You see now gore for the farmer ya mabala me gape ga kre puso ene e bua ka gore so ga gore header rona e tlo go hela e tsamaile breeding stock o be se bo sa nnete, but I don't think that should be but
the problem with the exportation for me, was that the minute that happened, if you remember the old man Kuos Kolobatse passed on, and they kind of let go of that area, and Fisher, who was doing Lobatse Estate, because of probably the debt or whatever it was going on between him and BMC, he stopped feedlotting. And when Old Man Masire also passed away, it kind of went down. You know what I mean? True. So then we started seeing the sharks that play within the meat industry in South Africa. I worked in a meat processing plant in South Africa for about 2 years. And my biggest competitors when I went to buy from either Tangeni or from Midlands and to buy carcasses, the biggest buyers, they were always Karan beef. Karan bought beef from even now farms and auctions. And Karan beef ended up setting up a depot in Botswana. You have now created a business market for someone from outside the country. There should have been a guiding principle there that there's no way you are coming to set up here. You must buy from locals. And I think the reduction on the consignment and praying to God, inshallah, that they close that completely.
Looking at it...
The fact that it's... Okay, the farmers, yes, are benefiting. They're selling, right? But you are getting Karan beef coming here. Karan is huge. They were coming here and they were loading trucks out of Kuos property and going off South Africa with a lot of beef to go and slaughter in the abattoirs. Where is the Botswana there in that value chain?
You look at it this way also. Ghana, we are working in a meat processing plant. Right. More Botswana, our processing is slaughtering in most cases. So, of which now I look at it like, are we losing much of jobs by exporting live animals to South Africa? we already right now we are not practicing any meat process
very true.
except the send foods. Ke yone e lekang go dira bo dipoloni, bo eng, bo eng,
Beef
bo eng,
and
yeah.
whatever, yeah.
So if and only if we could be having a lot of BMCs doing that ka go a ka nna le bo eco go BMC
ya rena ba re tswang kolo ba tsira
so BMC ya Francis Town ha nentse operator BMC ya Mount Lone operator fully go le natlalo mme le bone ba godisa yone processing. I could be agreeing with you gore mme one kana nka be ngwana tswang go sebele kwa ile go bereka as a meat processor ko BMC kana ko farmers clan e leng gore processor na mahale. Now we are now taking that job to create employment ko South Africa. Kana that the same argument they tell ni bua ka ditema na gore let's that tema na ile whole le isa go bomma mosadinyana ka go bona ba ta ba rekisetsa ile a finished product ya necklace ya jewelry. But this thing we should now be practicing that even ka khanyang kuli le bone bo kolobe jalo ba ile ngore ga ba rekiwe ha nne re ka processor ne ra o create market wa tsone dio tsentse re bua ka tsonetse because ha motho imagine gore ke le ditse go ja seswa sa o se actually se go apasa sa pudi hale. You see go monga ra re an utlisa variety mo producting,
but I think
at the same time creating employment.
But I think government is trying to go towards processing. It's an expensive process, right? The plant I was working for, I literally consulted from starting the plant, which is finding the property, getting the equipment, getting the team, and getting the compliance going.
Compliance,
right? It's not a cheap thing,
especially right? The compliance part of it.
Yeah, compliance on meat is not cheap.
Not so cheap.
So you look at Botswana, right? It's a very expensive process. And someone who's got muscle in terms of money, who's someone who's very liquid to be able to process at that. Even Sun Foods didn't just start in the morning and started processing. It took them time. And
it went phases.
Yeah, they do import some of the bacon. But they import,
you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they started processing some bacon and then they moved into, you can't even get good salami around. I mean, I don't eat pork, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they went into beef. They started canning beef. And so it takes time and it takes a lot of money to do that, right? However, to motivate that to happen, we need to remove this thing of relying on South Africa to bring anything. I was happy when Texan disappeared on the market, and then it got replaced by someone who bought it, Lucky Star.
You see?
You know what I mean?
You see?
It would be nice to say, if it's not canned, you're not going to eat it. The same thing. So this is where now protecting the local market comes into play. The only time pork is closed for is when there's food and wine in South Africa. You know what I mean?
Very true.
But to try and get people into meat processing, it's a very expensive process. Buying every machine is expensive, from vacuum sealers, from agers. These are expensive things.
But I look at it this way.
Okay.
Some of these plants, say, already go South Africa. You look at the population, they force them to have an output because of the population. But if you look at us here in Botswana, sometimes I think if you do study it, the smaller portions, you can actually do it. I was buying a period. There's one guy who's now starting to produce mahura.
Okay.
Cooking oil. So I just looked at the plant and I say, I can even do this kind of thing and serve the community there. That will actually reduce cost there that area.
Yeah.
So you see, if we can only start a smaller portion, not like a can beef here.
But you know that starting small is very expensive, eh?
True.
Starting small is more expensive than starting big on certain businesses. Because you start small, by the time you want to level up and upgrade, because you're going to create an automatic market.
Yeah.
And I think the president of Botswana is clear on saying we need to become an export-led economy. I think we need to change our mindset to stop thinking about Botswana. Because when you start a business, think of Zimbabwe, think of Zambia,
DRC.
think of the DRC, which is quite a big market. Think of Mozambique. Think of countries that are struggling to have these things and are also relying on South African people. South African businesses, actually, this is the sad part, right? They don't necessarily focus on the local market. If they did, these guys have got more than 50 million people.
Very true.
If they did, they would not have cared in December when the president gave us the State of the Nation address and said we are increasing the categories of banned vegetables. They wouldn't cry. They would say, there are only 72. Let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But the reason why they cry is because their business is not focused on their people. Their market is outside the country.
Very true.
The citrus plants that we've got now, that the president is launching it sometime soon.
Yeah.
That plant, the reason why it's exciting with that farm is because it's not targeting Botswana
local market.
30% might come local, but 70% is going to Europe and the United States.
Which we really need.
So I think we need to change our mindset and say, when I start a business,
I'm
not interested in the Botswana market.
Yeah.
Yes, I will have, sorry to say, the reject. I'll give them to the local market like BMC does.
Yeah.
The lower quality ones can stay in the local market, but the high quality products.
To say a share, a certain
or say,
share.
Okay, for my whole slaughter, I will take out 10% or 20%
to the community
to the
that
local
I'm
market,
doing it,
but my business is not here.
Very true.
I think the minute we start thinking outward, the minute we start thinking we need to go export, that might work, because starting small is very expensive. I will tell you that buying a band saw, small one out of Crown National, is about 24,000 pool. It's a small one. Buying a bigger band saw that can carry a whole carcass for you to cut the whole cow in half will cost you slightly 7,000 pool or more. So we also don't want to get people to think small. We want them to think externally.
You actually, Tona Dr. Edwin Dukolutuna Asibuagi engage alene Tatar. Kana the challenge yerna lo ne helarle batumbo Botswana. Hara business. We teba haole no si happy. But that is not the case. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's so good that self-sufficient, yes, for the land. Me Kangaze on Robata Madi, Robata foreign exchange. So, Osanto lebelele solution, on provide a solution. Tedi yan lequant, Ibilene Tautona. Kiso Zananga, we are hard mindset change when I go and Tatar. Celebeng Paparo, Nahalar.
Yeah, we are only 2.5
Imagine a motor Charles Zero, for example. Or how will Namibia?
Yeah, that person should be focused on not even Namibia. Should be focused on getting to the dry port. You
see. Humpeano Hagele go Matete and the surrounding area. Do you know that? But Baba go northwest of South Africa.
Yeah,
it's expensive, but so you see, we should be finding the businesses that we can be able to trade. Like we are we relay we packages ka tseleng tsinyang wena hela le rabuchara wo mo ramatlabama wo mo matete wo mo khoro wo mo boroba dilepe wo mo matete o le rabuchara. Can it be so simple or opotela ka ha o rekisetse marketplace ka Africa border? It's so simple.
Yeah. So now let's because we want to wrap up this, right? Another sector of horticulture. I'm not interested in when I'm more limu and dijom. I have very little interest in the. First of all, I only pop, so I'm fine. I've got very little interest in that space. But that's the biggest space that we rely on, right? However, the horticulture is a quick win for Botswana because the government decided it is not going to happen anymore, right? Some of us take it. You know what I mean?
It's already nutritionally, it is a casepe.
Yeah, it's just
to salvage. You see.
So,
You see?
so the borders are closed now. You can't bring in any horticultural product into this country, right? It's happening. People are, but I'll tell you this. Forget what you see in the supermarkets. The supermarkets apparently are not really buying from the local farmers. Some will go G West, some will go BBS, some will go Main Mall.
Tota BBS all trades.
That's where the product that we want is.
Yes.
I'm not going to buy onion from a shop when I know that I get better size onion and garlic from G West kind of BBS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are better quality and they're grown by local farmers.
Very true.
That's where the product is going, because supermarkets, some of them are running their own farms, so you can't compete with that, right? The farmers are growing a lot of cabbage. They're growing a lot of tomatoes, seasonal products that eventually they lose them, right?
Yeah.
We have a problem here, the value chain development in this country. As an agricultural expert, what's lacking mo Botswana gore re hele re nya rena le sun-dried tomato, rena tamati soso, rena le tomato paste and all these things.
Yeah, that is it's so key that tatana ke dumela mo re le farmers land re dumela mo goreng nako nngwe thuto go tswa go moding lone e botlhokwa. That is why this year le farmers land we've been doing this expos agro products processing, which is an annual exhibition.
Yeah.
Yer le kang go enhance or go facilitate or go agro exposure.
Yeah.
The local processing, especially in vegetables.
Yeah.
So this year we are now tackling it re ka gore re implant ko baneng ba skwele re ne re ntse re
we used to have
4B.
Yeah.
You see, we are trying to do that because if we can try to look at bagolo ba rona kana ko bagolong ke go ba leng gore ana na re batla madi ra re lemile ditamati kitse re ya no ke issue ena gore o produce itse nna ke le master sa bone kana ke le master Mogorosi ke batla ditamati mo go wena o le master sa bone as a processor ha ke go ha price o tla gore go to ke ya go ya mako BBS ke thola ke bolwa ke letsatsi ke emetse gore motho a etse ka 2 pula 50 kana ka 3 pula nna ke le Mogorosi ke re ke etse ka 1 pula because
no, but why are you trying to buy fresh ones? I mean, I think to get tomato paste and tomato sauce, you need to buy the one that's about to die.
So the problem in terms of pricing, because Ghana, as somebody who's going to process, you are going to incur some cost.
Yeah.
The
plant itself, the
barbarian
treatment,
and everything that is key to the final product. So, rena le ona bothata jwa gone go tlhaloganya gore farmer o hela ha kae a processor mentle le mong hela. I think even the knowledge or skill setting me ga re batle go leka go se practice a bosida ga ba finance dio tsa go tshwana le tsone tseo they finance. It's just that monotony kana re tletse go dira so se monotonous gore ga te go lemela ditamati le nna ke a go dilema ga ore no na ke emetse gore ba leme ke tle ke tse mo go bone ke process ke re tomato paste cabbage e gona go sola mo masimong ya ka ntsubu ile tona
when we can make sauerkraut. I mean,
you see,
even
just to chop it every package hela kana it's processing e bo e reksetsa batho ba manyalo dintso ile
ready wena re go
just
a coleslaw ke
how to go to recipe, but we would rather wait to buy and sell as it is rather e value go pe mo go yone. So value addition is so key in regards to solving the post harvest losses tse leng gore di farmers tsa rona di nna dintsi di lebagana le tsone every plowing season, because tamati, you talk of tamati le cabbage di le ko pele because the farmers lose a lot after spending so much in producing these two plants. So body chili is better because nowadays you see a lot of guys doing the chili sauces by the packager. So we need to get into this too. Actually, the Agri Research Center from South Africa, because I'm always engaging them. They teach the guys tapole ya mela itse di-variety tsa yone gore go na le dirang
The chips, I think the mondial medium, it's probably between size 8 and 9.
You see.
That is one that is designed to do that.
Yeah,
right?
so-
But that takes a lot of education. Because I saw a few farmers who are doing potato.
Yeah.
And I said, what are you growing? But not regular the tubara. But you need to be specific because you can't just grow tapole for the sake of it. If you want chips, you need to grow mondial, and it's gotta be medium to make sure it's cuttable to do that. So and the processing part of it also, I think we need to start learning. You look at the way social media is teaching people things. I think we need to start creating such kind of classes and lessons for people. Because you can use this beyond so say. So who do we first need to teach and train now? Because the space and the time is now. The environment, the enabling environment, the president of Botswana and his team have created the enabling environment. It exists. Go setse eng, go pala eng, a ke gone gore re batla go ngatlela dilo.
Bothata jo botona ga se puso, bothata jo botona ga se di-policy mo gongwe, because this is an open opportunity for whoever wants to tap in. Ha re ka bona morahi o mongwe ke se ka keng ka bua ka leina o setse o thepile ene mo teng e le rona gape re le Batswana re tlo boa rirang ra boa re morahi o nna ntse o tsweletse o tsa dilo hela. But this is an open opportunity for us to tap in, because the same guys who are doing this production ke Batswana ka nna lo yena. We can easily convince, like you were saying, these guys, Indian guys, but the leading Google, the people of that. So learn an easy access. You know what Mr. Mogorosi hale masimo agalo le makhabeshenzi. So it's easy. I can just go there. I want this ton. I'll pay you in this form. Ability product at the end of the day, he's satisfied. Our producer mover. Now I'm satisfied that value to cabbage it reaches the market faster. What we can pay are there. That's niche market. Yeah. You are talking of niche market. Yeah. And niche market are not alone.
Right. So now in closing, young people are afraid of farming, right? Because they think it's expensive, which is true. They don't have land, which is true. They also don't have resources, which is very true, right? But what can they do now? We've seen how Musesedi is relying on clustering. We've seen how it's relying on clustering. Can we do this? Can we get young people clustering into farming? And those who are going to do farming, you must just do farming. If I don't want to work, let me work at the cutting and the chopping and everything.
Yeah.
Can we do that? Is the environment safe enough and comfortable enough for young people to go into this?
If you come as a cluster, it's easy for you to actually access the funds, access they can find a way somewhere where you can really do your production, because kanya direct job creation in nothing kana o tsere batho ba le 10 ba ile go dira let's say plant ya go ira the tomato sauce, for example. You are quite sure that go gona le tiro ntsi ye ba e formileng gone ho ibile go motivate le tsone di farmers tse di le mantamati gore ba itse re no rena le market, you see. So cluster ke yone ye ka berekelang young farmers. The
cooperative,
because the other thing that these guys maybe don't realize, I wanna any business entity it's not a group of companies.
Actually, we complain about foreigners who come here, but they are making money. You know what they do? They come together. Look at how the Nigerians took over the car business, and they quit the car business, some of them, and they took over Block 7 and Block 10 and Cholofelo East, building houses because they got together.
So the spirit of togetherness.
We don't love our brothers and sisters.
The issue here becomes mona mthako wa be ke tla bereka le kana le gompieno for example I would say yes farmers land Mr. Sabone you are good at graphics for example right I need a graphic designer who will be taking over the multimedia ya farmers land mthako wa ba batla go ntirisa ga o lebelle an opportunity that comes along with branding such an entity wa bona so even the educated ga ba palwa ke gore ba tshwaragane ba kgone gore ba form a formidable
I think it's a problem thing, and I thought it was a Southern African problem. It's not, because when you go around that road that goes to the airport behind Block 8, those are all Zimbabweans, right, on the side of the road, right, and all those Zimbabweans, they might not be in business together or as business partners, but if I come there and I'm looking for Standesa Jojo, and the guy doesn't have it, he says to me, no, I have it, I'm going to get it for you from my brother there. And the word my brother, which comes from the Nigerians, and my brother, which the Zimbabweans use a lot, is because they don't see each other as competitors. You understand? It's, no, I know my brother has it, let me just call him. And you get it. You want a trailer, the guy doesn't have a trailer, he will make sure you get a trailer through him. And they have a very simple synergy to work together. So it's not a Southern African thing, it's a Botswana thing.
ga go phoso gore gompieno e re itse gore a pudia kgoma motho ya re tso bore oh no I know farmers land they can assist you with in regards to go harolla kgoma gago ya no ha o tswa go ngotla gore a mona a bonte bala ya no wa bona gore re le nna ka mosoga ke bone mongwe e leng gore o batla IPR ha ke a kantse gore Mr. Sabone o teng ka kwa kana jang ke tla re braelo a bantsa go ntima so kanya khate ke yone dile kana how about like bigger thing you don't have to really be concerned about small pieces you need to focus on a bigger aspect of life don't just focus mo donyane ntse di tswang ka thoko ka because at the end of the day wa ipitla ba sa itsoro batla go ya kae.
All right. So Chama is coming.
So
gitsura Chama lona ba agriculture le libile kana le bona ka re ha ele ami.
Tana go bua ba maruri wana di hempara tse dingwe tse gore menta nna ngantsa le ka go tla ka tsone I think le tsone di na le gore be di re busetsa go morago kana hunger
hunger drives you either die or you survive.
Ke yona survival of the fittest. So we need to be seeing ourselves mo wa go ipela go mo 25 table
25 table I know you got 25 table
tota re tshwantse gore bona manane wa mangwa lone ra a tlo go ga ke gane go na le batho ba ba tshwantseng go belegwa the guy who I was talking to getting go South Africa na ntare nna kana le gompieno la go te governmente o biditse meeting ala re batho ba tla go tipelwa dikgomo gore na ke tle ko ke tla itipela dikgomo tsa me because I don't want to sound like e ka re ke lebeletse hela mo gore puso so we need to have that kind of spirit kana motho ona le go senang mo Botswana ba tshwana ha o te gore mente o buleletse temo le
motho o humile
re tla rotle ha o tle gore no me ele ke a batho ba ba senang
na let me just focus
on ma ipela go phakisa dijo ka COVID re tla rotle you see because we are used to be given the food hampers whatever that we want e ka rana me kana economy now e change ya no ke so
we are middle income going to have
so bona ntautona re gompieno ha bua ka dio tse dingwe ya re batho terata ya re mo yenka se e be nangete ha gongwe o bua molato me ha o eleba ka leitlho le lengwe go re ra gore a re ne le moa wa go itse gore dio tse dingwe re tshwantse gore rona re di itirele kana gompieno ha ka tla go kopa ke propose the finances from you ga ke tshwana go tla ka go tsa gore ke a go tsa ke tshwanetse gore ke convince the financial gore a itse gore so se ke tlang ka sone se tla nna sustainable ebile se tla busa madi e seng kganya gore ke tla ka gore ke go youth tle mona go hala tshwanetse gore re neelwe madi wa bona re kganya ya re madi a ke a banana ke monana you see those kind of things di tshwanetse gore tota re di lebe ka leitlho le le ntsenyana le tsone di program tse dingwe tseo di tlo gore
You think the government must just
sometimes se tshwantse gore tota re nne
repeler?
le gone mowa
We
wa
need to be
repeler
given.
gore- Because ko re le gompieno a ke re go a campaign wa for example wa bona go campaign le ditlhopho a be motho a tla ko go yena go ha dikobo moraro a go motlhopha go ra you don't even know gore mo parlamente o swantse gore a direng ha a motho a tla go rare no I can provide the community ka gongwe ditlhare tsa maungo ka hale gore le simolele le lebelele tsone le VDC ya ka gongwe dikoloti ya kile a dira kala ba fila gore ga o dire wa bona
They must just take
ba
for
batla
free.
se leng gore bone gone go nke dijo kana ke kobo o tle o e apare gone go ga ba lebelele ga bana vision ya go bona gore oh ha go te ke tletswe ditlhare tsa maungo ke tse in 10 years ha re ke sule bo ngwana ke ba tlo go ja mo ditlhareng tse tsa maungo a eleng gore ne ke dinelwa ke tona semamang kana ke mamma so gape le gone go itse gore go kopa kana tota bo maparlamente for example ke legisle ba melao ga ba tshwanetse re nna re botse gore a mme molao ono policy e ne letla ka yone wena o le wa rona ka ya ka re le bate motho yana mo kgaolong ya rona ya mosesedi o re favorile ka policy eno e ba o e sutisa kwa a e favora rona ka kwano jang those are the key things that we really need to look on to eseng gore be re tla re tlo gore re neelwe some of these programs tse leng gore di tla di re busetsa go morago tautona re mindset change go twa le gone
So the system must also change its mindset.
we should change gore change e botlhoko
Yeah.
change e botlhoko ha ile gore ke batlang go ntsha maduo
Yeah, that, to be honest, I think we need tough times for us to have a generation of stronger people.
yeah
It's always been easy. You couldn't anymore ha go pala ke tla lapeng kana ke tla go apela la government to a point where it's a mindset change. Rubisa na la ga tautu. Ha se lenaneo.
ga se lenaneng ke the spirit ye tshwanetse gore e nne embedded in us wa bona e ska nna gore tautonare lenaneo la gago ga go ka the mindset change na re tla ja mindset change le
Ya re tsa gore wa apply student le re na kana ke apply mindset change.
nna kana sa le go utlwa le re mindset change borra na
Ke emetse di-form.
o tla leng go go nna mindset
Ke tle go apply mindset change.
so we need to really change the way we do things re ska ra nna re leba re puso.
So we need to grow that ipelegen thing, which is also embedded inside mindset change.
Very true.
Ipelega, ke bonatla, ke botswerere, ke bothaka, right? So thank you very much for making time to come through to the THINK.SET.GO, and I think we'll keep coming back once in a while to have a bit of a chat on these matters. Thank you for making time for THINK.SET.GO.
le nna ke itumela sone sebaka se gore re ne re ntse re gatlholle batswana ka yone kganye ya go improve temothuo and actually the food security e te kgone go gola.
And I don't think with us it's food security, food sovereignty. We need to independently grow food for ourselves. Right, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right.